Time to take a ride in the recently modded Toyota Tacoma. I put the axle dump exhaust on. I think it was from Nytop, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, while I'm out here, had to take a look under the hood. Always like to do this for two reasons. One, to admire what's under the hood, right? You know what we've got under here, all kinds of good stuff. And secondly, just to make sure no critters have nested or chewed anything or anything weird like that. Anyway, I did put the Nytop, I believe, exhaust dump, trail pipe, whatever you want to call it, on the truck. So of course, sitting right over there is the exhaust. That's gonna probably go in the garbage. I don't know any reason to keep it. But we also have a nice clean look over here now. Even makes the truck look higher. Isn't that awesome? Love it. So we're gonna get out on the road, see if there's any more, I guess, road noise. I don't expect anything. And then also, this is honestly a bit of a test on my new setup. I did change the way I mount cameras and things in here, and I know this is pretty personal. Not everybody rides around with a camera in their truck. But hey, I'm a YouTuber, content creator, whatever. So I've got a mount here for the DJI, I think it is, Osmo camera, something new I'm trying as opposed to the GoPro. And then over there, that of course is my phone mount, which I stick up there via a magnet. Pretty cool. So we're gonna put you guys on the mount, and then we're gonna head out on the road, take a look at the footage too, I guess, for me, and see if I notice any sound changes in the truck. Okay, we're gonna give you the startup. This is actually the second startup, I guess. I had to move the truck out of the way to get the Jeep back in the garage, whatever. So let's go ahead, start it up, see what the sound is. I didn't hear anything different, right? So let's open the door. We'll give it a little gas. Get rid of the radio. You might get a little bit of a, it's not a backfire, but I don't know what you'd call it. That little thump at the end, one more time. Ah, didn't do it there. Must just be a first start kind of thing. Anyway, let's get out on the road and we'll see what this is like. I do have you guys on the new mount. It's working fantastically. I love this. I gotta say, if you're in the market for a video camera, it's about the same price. It could be a little more, I'm not sure, but the DJI Osmo is a frickin' fantastic setup, and you can pair it with the mic, and all you need then is the mic and the camera itself. Internally, the camera syncs with the mic so that you get better sound, right? It's just awesome. Their setup is awesome, and I don't know how GoPro hasn't gone to this kind of a setup themselves, because they're really missing out. I'm also curious to see, because of where the camera's mounted and how it's mounted, it's gonna kind of move a little bit when we go over bumps and things. So I'm curious to see if you guys or me, if we can see if it moves around, what the stabilization is like, I guess, proper term. And one other thing I want to mention, this camera, and I believe it's the same for the GoPro, is voice controlled. I can tell it to begin. I'm not going to use the other word, you know, the red sign, because it will not function anymore. We're out on the road. I'm going to be quiet. Let's listen, see if we hear anything different about this tip. And honestly, you really shouldn't much, because all you did is remove a pipe and a resonator. That's it. So I'll be quiet. I can hear the turbo. That's pretty cool. Of course, that's compliments of the Banks cold air intake, right? Love it, love it. Anyway, you really couldn't hear much exhaust-wise there. I'll be quiet. There, we got up to 55 miles an hour. I don't hear anything. I hear some bouncing around of stuff I have in the truck. You guys might be able to hear that, I don't know. But I don't hear anything as far as changes, I guess, to the exhaust. And again, you really wouldn't expect to. I mean, other than that, the resonator being gone and maybe the exhaust tip being closer to where you're sitting because it was out of the back side of the truck. Now it's in the middle. And speaking of that, there have been a lot of people concerned, I guess, about fumes and where the exhaust actually exits when you put this on. First of all, let me say that Toyota puts one of these on. They call it I think a trail pipe on I believe the Pro and the Trail Hunter, or maybe it's just the Trail Hunter, I don't know. But they do go ahead and put one on themselves. And keep in mind, Toyota has to go through EPA stuff and testing and, all of that, safety for the drivers. So if there was an issue having an exhaust dump or trail pipe on the truck, Toyota wouldn't be allowed to sell it. They wouldn't be allowed to do it. Now, is it possible that you could get more exhaust odor, smell? Kind of depends. Depends on what the wind is like, what the environment's like, where you're sitting. I mean, obviously, if you have your window down and you're driving down the road, no, of course not. The exhaust fumes would have to be chasing you, right? At a speed to overcome whatever it is you're traveling. So, that's not going to happen. Sitting at a stoplight, and this is my take on it, sitting at a stoplight, the exhaust, it's pointed down. So it, of course, is hitting the ground. And as you can imagine with water, right, when it hits the ground, it kind of spreads out. So it is possible, I think, that you might catch a whiff here and there of the exhaust. But I don't think it's really a big deal. I've never noticed it. And I've had the trail pipe, exhaust dump, whatever you want to call it, on more than one 4th gen Tacoma. And I've never been sitting at a stop sign, stoplight, whatever, and had some overpowering odor of exhaust fumes. And I do drive around quite a bit with the window down. I mean, when it's a nice day, not like today, it's 90-some degrees and humid. But on a nice day, when it's more comfortable, I do tend to drive around with the windows down, or at least the driver's side. And I've never noticed anything noxious about that. So it's a great, I think, change to the truck if you're not a big fan of having that big ass exhaust tip stick out of the side of the truck. I'm not a fan. Matter of fact, if I had it my way, I suppose I would have dual exhaust tips, kind of like Ram does it, out of the back of the truck. I'm a big fan of that, particularly when it's cooler outside and you can see the exhaust exiting the truck. It's just one of those weird things that I like, I guess. But we don't get that on the Tacoma, although I do think I've seen some folks who have done some sort of a custom setup where they did put exhaust tips out of the back. Be cool if we could do that. Anyway, I think it's good. I like it. No issues. Camera seems to be working fine. Leave a comment down below. Let me know. Did you hear anything different? And what do you think of the footage, the sound, the quality, whatever, from the new camera? I'd be curious to know what you think. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.